Greetings to everyone world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe, wherever you are. We extend you a very warm welcome, and it's a wonderful morning. It's a green morning. It's a warm, sunny morning and wonderful morning, all the way coming to you from United States, from Dr. PRIYA VISWESWARAN ji, who is a very eminent personality. And nowadays, as she had been very kind to take a couple of programs with my colleague, Dr. Chitra Kapoor. And I have come back almost after 2 months. And now we take on the journey forward. First of all, my deep gratitudes and thanks to all those who supported the program with Dr. Chitra Kapoor, Dr. PRIYA VISWESWARAN, and other eminent speakers during the 2 months' time. Taking the journey forward, life is to move on, and life is to march ahead the best possible way. Your health, your wellness, your mental happiness, your physical happiness, your spiritual happiness, your environmental happiness, all that comes, what happens around, and how people support you, and how humanity supports you, and how you support the humanity. We took on very noble cause, very noble agenda, because during the pandemic, a lot of people have suffered, a lot of families have suffered, a lot of people have left this universe, this planet. May God give strength to those families who lost their family members. And at the same time, people who have undergone a lot of physical challenges and medical challenges, we pray that they recover faster. And once we have come out of it, now we have got economic challenges as well. Because a lot of people have lost their jobs, they have lost their work, and we have to think about it, what is to be done, how it is to be done, how to help every human being. And particularly our teachers, they can play a very important role for us, because our teachers, our educators, our counselors, our neuro coach, our wellness coach, and other experts, and people like very dedicated people like Dr. PRIYA VISWESWARAN ma'am, I think their best way, they're contributing to the humanity. And that's why they share their vision from time to time. They are doing their best. What you have to do, how you have to prepare for Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the global family. And at the same time, how do you have to become a set to your family so that you can add some economic dimensions to your family. So teachers, educators, counselors, mentors, coach, people those are associated anywhere with the education, whether at school level or at college level or at vocational level or skills and competency level, Madam is going to share the vision with us. What exactly can we do? How do we do? How do we prepare ourselves for the global family? With these words, we extend a very hearty welcome to Dr. PRIYA ma'am. And let's move ahead from here. Hearty welcome, ma'am, and wish you great morning.
Thank you so much. A wonderful evening to you, Major General Gulshan Sharma ji, Major General Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji. We are so happy to have you back. Dr. Chitra Kumar ji and I are just ecstatic. She has done a wonderful job of supporting me and being infinitely kind and generous and being interested and curious and wondrous and just wonderful things. She's a wonderful person. You've chosen very well. But we are both so happy to have you back, and we look to you for inspiration and guidance and to lead the way for us forward. And we have missed you as a mentor so much. And we just want you to know how much we appreciate the large heart that you have, that is so generous to Mother India and to all of us, and the shelter that you're providing to so many people. and the nurturing and the cultivation of all of the goodness all over the world and all over India that you're doing. We appreciate you, and we are so grateful to you. And with an enormous amount of respect, I would like to start today. And as discussed, today I will keep it short and crisp, just so that we are not overwhelming our audience with too much information. There is quite a bit of matter to cover today. So I'm going to just start with, is it possible? Let me see if I can share my slide presentation. Yes, I can. So that's wonderful. Just 1 second, please. I'm going to go back and try this again. Okay, I think I'm going to have to close this slide presentation, and then we will start. Just 1 second.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very important and informative and innovative efforts of Madam. Let's take the best whatsoever we can get. With these words, Dr. PRIYA VISWESWARAN.
Thank you. So we were talking last week about these fundamentals that many people, many doctors here in America have published clinical research studies that have given us unequivocal, uncontestable results. These results are, there is no questioning these results. They're so strong. And in the next 1 or 2 sessions, we will go over which studies and what those results showed and what that means for us from a health perspective and things like that. Just to recap, and this is not something we went over last time, but there are 3 fundamentals in our diet according to Dr. Neil Barnard. Dr. Neil Barnard is the founder of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, or PCRM. And he has, he's a neurologist by training, but for a very long time, he has recommended how he has studied and come up with protocols to reverse heart disease and diabetes. In fact, his most important claim to fame is the reversal of diabetes. And he has been in this reversal of diabetes field for over 30 years. And he has published extensively in peer-reviewed top medical journals. He is a top speaker all over the country and the world. And the 3 things that he recommends based on his study. So I'm going to convey to you what he has found. Okay, some of these, as we go along, may not have slides yet, but I will add them. And when we share again, I will share with you the content that we went over. So the first thing he said is set aside all animal products. Let us not have any animal products in our diet. The second thing he said was keep vegetable oils to a minimum. Vegetable oils to a minimum. And the third thing he said was favor foods with low glycemic index. Low glycemic index. So last time we reviewed some of the studies that showed that using animal products in diet cause an increase in the bad cholesterol called the LDL cholesterol. And we talked about how when there is fat, excess fat in the diet and excess cholesterol in the diet, the fat goes and plugs this lock and key mechanism that is on the cell surface, which is the insulin molecule and its receptor. So you have a cell like this, like a room, and then you have a lock, which is the insulin receptor, and you have the key, which is the insulin molecule. And when we have a diet that has a lot of fat, inside this muscle cell, there is so much of fat that it is clogging up this lock. And the insulin cannot enter its receptor and open the lock and enter in and allow the glucose to enter into the room, which is the cell. When the cell does not have glucose, it doesn't have energy production. Then the cell can get diseased. And what is inflammation? Inflammation is a way of the body to cry out for help. It is saying the cells here don't have energy. The cells here are not able to regenerate themselves in perpetuity. The cells over here are damaged. The cells over here are not receiving glucose inside the cell. So everything can be related to one thing. This is what we call the metabolic syndrome. So when there is fat inside the muscle cell, it clogs up the lock, which is the insulin receptor, preventing insulin, which is the key, from opening the door of the cell to glucose to flow in from the blood vessels. Whether the cell is near a large blood vessel like an artery, or it is near a small vessel like a capillary. These capillaries are small branching vessels that come out of arteries and penetrate 10 layers of cells deep, 20 layers of cell deep, isn't it? You have so many layers of cells. The artery cannot be a branch in every layer, but the capillary will branch out of the artery and bring the oxygen and the nutrients. And the fat that we are consuming is going into these cells, like the muscle cells, and it is clogging up this machinery. And what he has found is when the fat comes from animal source, it is particularly bad because it also comes with cholesterol. So just 1 second, I'm trying to advance this slide. Yeah. Whoops. Hold on. There we go. So there are two possible sources of fat in the diet. One is animal products and the second one is vegetable oils. If you are not eating animal products, you won't get animal fat. Pretty simple and straightforward, right? This program that Dr. Neil Barnard has created omits meat, dairy products, and I think that I had written there fish, but it got auto-corrected to EFFS. I'm sorry about that. It omits meat, dairy products, chicken, and fish. Okay. Researchers who measured the fat inside the muscle cells of people on high-fat diet showed that the fat that we eat can very rapidly increase the amount of fat inside our cells. And the opposite thing happens to our cells when people avoid animal products. Okay? So people who followed a vegan diet had 31% less intracellular fat compared to people on a regular diet. So 31% less clogging of that lock and key machinery, which allows glucose and therefore energy into the cell. If the cell has energy, what can it do? The question is, what can it not do? What can't it do? The cell can do everything when it has energy. It can make protein. It can convert carbohydrate to fat and protein. It can fold the protein properly. The protein will function well. That protein may be an enzyme. It might be a intracellular building block. It might be a secreted protein by that cell into the bloodstream. It might be whatever it is. It might be a receptor on the surface of the cell. All of the cell's functions, which are protein, yes, the synthesis, the manufacture of these protein in the intracellular organelles called ribosomes, based on the recipe called the messenger RNA. The messenger RNA is a Xerox copy or a mirror image of the DNA in the nucleus. The DNA in the nucleus is the original book in the library with the recipe. Then you take it to a copy machine, you make a copy, that's the mRNA, you bring it home to the kitchen, that is the ribosome. And there you're making the dish. That is the protein that has the functionality of the cell. All of that takes energy. Uncoiling the DNA to make a copy of it, which is the messenger RNA, floating that messenger RNA into the kitchen of the cell, which is the ribosome, reading that recipe and putting together the amino acids in a protein in the sequence to create that protein. Then that protein goes and either sits on the cell surface or gets secreted or does intracellular function. But before that, it is folded. Folded once, folded twice, coiled up, tightly wound. Then it has its functional structure. All that is energy requiring. Then the breakdown of that, when it is no longer working, that requires energy. If glucose cannot enter the cell, imagine the plight of that cell. No wonder it is inflamed. It is crying for help. Where's the glucose? I don't have any ATP. I'm not getting any energy. And when it cries out for help by putting inflammatory substances, inflammation makes the disease worse. Enough cells in the body are crying out for help. That causes systemic inflammation all over the body. So animal products are also the only source of cholesterol in our diet. Cholesterol is a super glue, extra sticky gum. So eliminating animal products from our diets means eliminating cholesterol also completely from our diets. And when we are following a vegan diet, we are having improved insulin sensitivity because the receptors are working great now. As our cells reclaim their health, so too does the rest of the body. Volunteers who were asked in a study for the taste comparison between, here in America, they regularly, every day, every evening for supper or dinner, they eat a piece of beef or steak. Usually for lunch, they have fish or chicken. Then they may have a salad, not many vegetables like how we prepare spices and all that. They don't have that much of that. Not everybody, I'm talking about the average American person. They actually, the volunteers who are enrolled on the vegan side of the study or the conventional side, they actually preferred the vegan diet. My personal observation, I see a lot of people who put vegan diet recipes on social media like Instagram and other places. These people are much faster moving, much quicker thinking, and skinny. They have energy. They're doing like this, they're going really fast. They do the work that they can get done. The brain's working great, and the body, everything is listening in the body to what they need. So these are some huge. You can't put a price value on those kind of things. Now, these are Dr. Barnard's recommendations. And I just want to preface this by saying everything need not be true for everybody, but you can start by trying this out because as he describes it, the vegan diet has consistently, without exception, shown benefit in reduction of total body weight, in reduction of body cholesterol, and in improvement of insulin sensitivity and reversal of diabetes, consistently in every person in every study. The amount may vary, but it is a significant enough amount of improvement that it is reportable as a positive change. So the results on this vegan diet were powerful. Consistently across studies, repeatedly, multiple continents, multiple countries, multiple different types of cuisine. I'm happy to share these results by study, that is classified by study another time, including in India, they've been done, same results. People who eat even plenty of carbohydrates do better, not worse. Even diabetics who eat pasta and rice. Remember, the countries where pasta and rice are eaten, the levels of diabetes are very low. But typically in this diet, they prefer a protein-rich plant source like chana, making the pasta instead of making it from wheat. The rice, they prefer whole grain rice to white rice. And they're saying you can eat, they show you a plate and they divide it into 4 parts, and I'll come to that next. So the point here is just that certain foods they're saying you can eat any amount of, and you will not have any problems worsening the diet. So there is no counting of calories, portion size and all that. You can eat to your full and you can feel like, oh my God, I consumed a lot of food. I feel satisfied and sated. Even chicken and fish have a very high content of fat and cholesterol, not just beef. For example, 23% of all the calories from chicken is fat source. It is from fat, and much of it is saturated fat, which is very, very bad. It's the super glue, and cholesterol and saturated fat are the super glue of that insulin receptor lock. Fish can vary. Some types of fish have low fat. Salmon fish, which is considered very, very healthy, has very high fat. Most of them have 15 to 30% of saturated fat, which is what clogs up the insulin receptor key lock mechanism on the cell surface. All fish, shrimp, and lobster also have cholesterol. This is most undesirable. Fish oil as supplements do not prevent heart attacks, strokes, or reduce the risk of dying. They do not work for people who already had a heart attack and are trying to avoid another heart attack. Fish oils are not just the good omega-3 fats. They also contain saturated fat. As we mentioned earlier, 15 to 30% of not only the whole fish is saturated fat, 15 to 30% of the fish oil supplement is also saturated fat. Whereas beef, 50% of the beef slice is saturated fat. 30% of the chicken, whatever they call it, leg or breast or whatever, is saturated fat. And the body has no need for saturated fat. The body has no need, no physiological, biological need for saturated fat. Fish consumption is associated with a higher risk of developing diabetes. The American Diabetes Association reported that people who regularly ate fish but no meat had a 4.8% prevalence of diabetes. That means 4.8 out of 100 people had diabetes who ate only fish. Whereas people who ate eggs and drank milk and ate cheese and curd, yogurt, buttermilk and all that, they had 3.2% risk or prevalence of diabetes. And people on a pure vegan diet had 2.9% prevalence of diabetes. Having fish in our diets actually increases the risk of developing diabetes long term. This is not something that you will hear everywhere, but you will hear it from Dr. Barnard. Remember, to lose weight, good fats and bad fats have the same numbers of calories in them. Fat produces 9 kilocalories per gram consumed. It doesn't matter if it is a good fat like olive oil or a bad fat like a beef fat. Okay, you are still getting more than double the amount of calories from this fat compared to carbohydrates, which only give 4 kilocalories per gram of carbohydrate consumed. So I just want to go over the typical menu of somebody that is on this kind of a diet. Okay, there is a lady by the name of Nancy, and she was fed up with the results that she had on the previous diet, and she liked the idea of a vegan diet, and she wanted to lose weight. She was sick and tired of feeling low on energy. Why was she low on energy? The glucose that is circulating in the blood after being absorbed from the diet is not entering the cells. The cells are running low on energy. Eventually, all the self-healing processes of the cells that are dependent on protein synthesis, which is an energy-dependent process, will shut down. So then we age, then we get disease of whatever kind, of every kind. And the cell's distress signal is what is the inflammation. So she wanted to lose weight and she was sick and tired of feeling low on energy. So this is what she hoped would give her an answer. This lady, Nancy, grew up in Minnesota. If you know a little bit about the state of Minnesota, a lot of them are from this Norway, Sweden, Denmark area. Their roots are Scandinavian, and they're almost purely carnivorous people, many of them. And her Scandinavian family loved food. Her mother and all her sisters had weight problems. And this Dr. Barnard had enrolled her in a study, and she had made many healthy changes to her diet over the years. She had stopped eating beef. She ate plenty of vegetables. She had gotten away from fatty salad dressings. So making the shift was reasonably easy for her. And as she began the study, she started her day with oatmeal topped with cinnamon and fat-free vanilla soy milk. So these things may not be available in every part of the world, but oats are available everywhere. Ragi is available everywhere. Barley is available in most places. Oatmeal with cinnamon or fat-free plant-based milk like soy milk. I think of all of them: soy, almond, cashew, coconut, oat milk. I would recommend the oat milk because it is the closest taste to milk. It may not have the smell of that cow, but it has the flavor and taste much more than some of these others like soy and cashew and coconut and all that. So she would start her day with oatmeal and plant-based milk. In the mid-morning, she would have a snack like an apple or a banana or a raspberry or a blueberries or grapes or oranges. Okay. Then for lunch, she would have a hearty vegan soup, like a minestrone soup. It's a vegetable soup, okay, with lots of vegetables. It's an Italian style soup. It has tomatoes, it may have bell pepper, it may have carrots, it may have leeks, potatoes, all kinds of vegetables. You just put some salt and some, they put rosemary, sage, thyme, whatever, but we can put Indian style, masala powders, anything we want. And what she was doing, this lady Nancy, was she'd cook a pot of this and take from it every day for lunch. I don't recommend that. I recommend making it fresh every day. You can use a slow cooker like a crock pot and put the ingredients early in the morning. As soon as you wake up, 4, 5, 6, whatever time, by lunchtime, you will have freshly made soup bowl. And she was also using things like sweet potato soup or something that they call chili here, which is basically rajma, and salad made with fresh spinach, fresh tomatoes, red, yellow, and orange bell peppers. And she was also using rajma and chana and other ingredients. So they come in cans. They're already pre-cooked, and sometimes they just pre-soaked. And I don't recommend food from cans, but in a hurry, if you have to, you take all the vegetables and you put the rajma and the chana on the top. You have the soup on the side. That's a very hearty, wholesome meal. And you don't have to, you take a limited amount of rajma and chana, maybe, half a handful of that you put it. But the soup, you can have any amount of that. Then the afternoon snack was often fruit with rye crackers, RYE. That's kind of, or you could use ragi biscuits, ragi, something made out of ragi. Baked tortilla chips with salsa. So you can, I'm going to go over, I'm actually going to try out some recipes with some of the new types of fiber and protein rich powders that I have just purchased. I'm going to try them out with masalas and curry powders, and I'm going to give you some recipes, and I'm going to encourage you to make some of your own recipes too, because this is what is going to save our lives. This is what is going to allow us to not have to take insulin in our lives and not have to take anti-diabetes medicines. Many of them have serious side effects, even though if it's in only a small percentage of people. If I can help you avoid taking medicines by developing a recipe, then I would like to give you those recipes. And then after a long day at work, at night, she would not want to make a gourmet meal because she comes home, she's tired, she's starving, whatever it is. So she would have a veggie burger with frozen mixed vegetables that she would microwave and eat. And late at night, she would have a fruit snack for dessert. This was her meal plan. Now, I don't recommend microwaving. I don't recommend frozen food. Some things are hard to do, and frozen food is okay, but don't put your fruit in the freezer because the vitamin C comes out when you freeze food. So for at least the fruit and as many vegetables as you can that you're eating, that you're cooking and eating, keep it in just the refrigerator, not the freezer. And I don't recommend microwaving or high heat cooking. There are utensils that are available that keep the temperature under 80. They may take much longer to cook, But under 80, all the vitamins are preserved. Nothing spoils. Okay. I think it's 80 centigrade, but I will confirm that for you. That I remember that number from a previous study that I did. So cooking the food in utensils that do not raise the temperature beyond 80, using fresh vegetables and fruits at worst that are kept in the fridge. And I will show you how to keep fruits and vegetables fresh for longer, even without fridge. And trying not to use freezer, trying not to use microwave. All these things help preserve the nutritional substances in our food and our produce, and basically nutrition is the ATP energy molecules in those fruits and vegetables and grains. Okay, grains are different issue. Beans and grains are a different issue. Okay. Now, they took her to a supermarket. They showed her all the groceries. They had her pick what she wanted. She's not a cook, but what she would do is she'd make a large pot of soup in the weekend and take small bit of it every day during the week. Because she's working, she would take it at lunchtime. And then I will show you how to make the salads and store them for the whole week. On Sunday, you can do it. It will not lose its energy content. It will stay in those containers because it is a particular kind of container. It's a particular kind of technique. I will show you that whole thing. In fact, I meant to have it ready by today, but it will take me several hours to prepare the slides and the photographs and everything that I'm going to do. I want to show it to you so you can do it. Now, yeah.
Can I make a humble request?
Yeah, please.
We can take rest of the things next week, ma'am.
Sure.
It would be very, very kind of you if we can just wind up, ma'am.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So I just want to...
Your closing remarks, because some very important points you have given to us, that inflammation makes the disease worse in the body. And
yes.
The most important thing which we got today is the vegan diet. I think when you have given all the comparison, the vegan diet is the best diet. And if I put it in a little, I don't know which way, not medical way, but as a humanity.
Yes.
Cow and the calf.
Yes.
Cow and the calf.
Yes.
And when the calf comes to cow, mother, and mother wants to give a milk to that particular child.
Yes.
For our consumption as a human being, we take that calf away and we tie it up with the rope and little away from the mother. And that time we want to squeeze as much milk as possible because we want to consume it, we want to sell it, we want to have it for the human being. I think in a natural way, whatever God has created, if it become an integral part of nature, because today is a very pious day. It's a World Environment Day. It's a World Environment Day, 5th of June. So today, your version, your vision, your sermon, I think that all is so meaningful to all of us. And your closing remarks, and thereafter, I would request you to take on the rest of the journey next week, ma'am.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Major General Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji. Sun salutations to you, namaskarams. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
I have a song I wanted to share with you. I'm going to send it to you and to Chitra ma'am by WhatsApp.
Thank you.
Just feeling a lot of celebratory, happy, joy feeling inside. And, you know, I don't know the meaning of these words of these songs, but some of them are Urdu and all that. I don't know those languages. So, but I like the peace that is coming from the songs. I would like to share it with you in celebration and welcome back to...
Very kind.
Welcome back to and welcome back to your leadership role for all of us. We are following you.
Thank
you. So grateful to have you back.
Regards to everybody at your end, and great celebrations to everybody, and wishing you a wonderful